Hi, everybody, and welcome to Module 3. I really enjoyed reading through your topic proposals, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you proceed with these topics and which ideas you decide to pursue further. So go ahead and take a look at my feedback and make sure you're on target, and send me an email if you have any questions. So let's get started with Module 3. Go ahead and click on the link for the modules button and scroll down until you get to Module 3. Once you're there, you're going to click on the Module 3 overview as usual. And then once that page is open, you'll see that in this module, we're going to start doing some research on the topic that you selected. So you're going to want to make sure that you can find enough credible, relevant sources to use in your project. As I stated before, when you look through the project description, you will need 6 secondary sources. So that's the research that you're going to be working on this week. So in the learning activities, we're going to be taking a look at what good research is, how to complete it, how to analyze it. And if you have any trouble with the research that you'll be doing through the library, go ahead and contact a librarian, and they can help walk you through the databases and make sure you're on target with the research that you want to find. You don't want to have any sources that have articles or information that is over 7 years old. That would just be too far away for the project, and we want more current information. So if you scroll down and hit the next button, you'll see that it takes you to the Top Hat materials and opens the Top Hat section for you, where you can complete all of the Top Hat work for Module 3 before beginning the assignments. Once you've completed that, go ahead and click the next button. And you'll see it brings you to the Module 3 Additional Learning Materials section. And so this is where you can read a little bit more about what secondary research is. And there is a nice handy link for a research tutorial if you're not familiar with using the library databases. There's a database tutorial, and then several videos that you can look through here in order to make sure you can find the information that you need specific to your project. So once you've completed that, you'll hit the next button at the bottom of the page. And this will bring you to the bias in research sources discussion. So this is another discussion that you'll be having with your classmates. You should set aside about 2 to 3 hours for this discussion. You're going to be engaging in an independent inquiry and gain an understanding of bias in research materials. You will be completing some different worksheets in order to look at bias and what that means. And I'll be posting some information on the CRAP test for evaluating research. That's CRAAP, and I think you'll find that helpful. So if you scroll down to the instructions, you'll see that you choose an article on your project, and you'll make sure to post the URL in your post so that we can take a look at what you have found. You're going to be composing a 3-paragraph discussion and answering the questions in relation to this step 2. So then in step 3, you'll describe the critical thinking strategies you'll use for the future resource. And so this will be a 1 to 2 paragraph discussion regarding how your analysis of bias in future articles will change. And you can use the questions located to help you progress further in step 3. Step 4 is your optional peer response, of course not required, but in general, you will be submitting 4 to 5 paragraphs with steps 2 and 3's questions answered, and then you can take a look through your classmates' posts. They'll often have some really interesting ideas that you might use to apply to your own projects. So then when you have completed that, you can click the next button. And here you'll see our researching the problem. So you should set aside about 4 to 5 hours for your researching and drafting. So you are going to gain some experience in research methods, and you will be gaining experience reading and composing in different genres to understand purpose and audience. So audience is really important in this project. As you learned from my feedback and previous videos, we are going to be creating a letter or a memo, and your audience needs to be somebody that can make a decision about how to implement the solutions that you come up with. So scroll down and take a look at the instructions for this assignment. You're going to be reviewing your feedback from the previous assignments and explaining how you applied it to this assignment. So make sure that you've gone back through the gradebook and looked at all of the previous the previous feedback that you have received. So then in step 2, you'll explore the problem components. So in 2 to 3 sentences, you'll state the problem you've identified in your community. And most likely you already put that in your topic proposal, so you'll have some of that initial information ready for you. You're going to be reflecting on the aspects of the problem. And then step 3, you're going to be researching the problem. So you're going to first develop a list of keywords to research the problem, and then some credible sources from the ASU library database, other scholarly sources, and the open web. So we're going for scholarly sources here. That means that you're going to want to consider who wrote the article. Is it a peer-reviewed article? Is it a book? Is this person writing on the topic an expert in their field? It's very important that we are using experts because they produce the most credible information. Now, of course, experts are also biased, so you can investigate their bias as well, but that will lead you to be the most successful in your research endeavors. And then you're going to create a plan and some questions for the required primary research component. So you're going to review the top hat materials on conducting primary research. You're going to think about the stakeholders that are affected in your community and decide who you're going to interview, or whether or not you'll be doing a survey instead. So those are the things that you'll want to be working on in step 3. There's an optional AI component for you and some prompts for you to put into ChatGPT. And in step 4, you're going to explore your research process. So you'll read through all of your sources and compose a short narrative and paragraph form. And in this narrative, you will write at least 1 paragraph explaining your process of how you conducted the research. In another paragraph, you'll explore how you know each of these sources is credible, and you'll get some more information on that in top hat. And then you will write a 3-paragraph narrative in your own words that includes a brief history of the problem, and each paragraph should contain a source that you have found with a quote and proper APA in-text citation. So you'll see under the submission of your documents, the total length of this project should be 750 to 1,000 words. That's for the whole assignment, not each step. And the genre that you're writing in is a short narrative. The research is a minimum of 3 secondary sources and a plan for your primary research, including a minimum of 3 questions that you'll ask in an interview or for your survey. And documentation style will be APA with in-text citations and a reference list. And once you have completed all that, scroll down and you will see the rubric for this assignment. And there's a couple of different things that we're considering in this rubric. You're going to make sure that your assignment fulfills all of the requirements mentioned and all of the steps, and that you're clearly demonstrating how previous feedback has been incorporated in what you're doing. So you can use this rubric as a checklist. And that wraps up what we're going to be doing for Module 3. If you have any questions at all, you can reach out to me or the writing mentor, and we would be happy to help you. Have a great week.